Countrywide Connect with Andy Thompson and Sarah Perriam-Lamp.
Joining me now on the phone, Libby, are you there? There's a beautiful book that I'd love to give you. Wild Horses of the Last
I
Land.
saw that.
Wild Horses.
Yes, I
Do you
saw
have
that.
wild horses in Australia?
Pardon?
Do you have wild horses in Australia?
Oh, yes, we do, known as Brumbies, and they're they're in various areas. They're in the Alps, near where I live. I'm just in the foothills, and they're also around the Barmah Forest on the Murray River, which is an entirely different area. They're not. A lot of governments want to cull them because it's very fragile alpine country that they're on, and they do a fair bit of damage, although nowhere near as much as cattle or blackberries. But yes, it's a very emotional issue here.
Very similar here. Hey, what is also probably emotional is the 200 confirmed cases of bird flu and the impact it's having right across both the poultry sector, but even I see on the Melbourne Royal Show.
Yes, and the Adelaide Show. I think that's not that dramatic in the broader scheme of things because they're mainly poultry lovers rather than actual poultry producers. It hasn't spread into poultry yet. It's killing a lot of seabirds, and it first started in South Australia, where I'm originally from. Strangely, it hasn't hit in Tasmania because it's come up from the Antarctic, so you think it had hit Tassie first. But these terns that fly up from the Antarctic are hitting the coast and spreading it. It's got into seagulls as well, and you can imagine once it's in seagulls, that is terribly concerning because they thrive so much in heavily habited areas by people. And one has even bobbed up at Wentworth, which is 400 kilometres from the coast, right in not central Australia, but just over the New South Wales border from South Australia and Victoria. There's that little, it's called Ned's Corner, that corner where those states come together, and a tern ended up there dying. So, look, no other country in the world has managed to keep it on the coast and to stop it from infecting native wildlife. And the government has put out a terrifying list, the national risk scores for birds and mammals. And the highest risk ones are obviously the seabirds. But if it gets into some of our hawks and kestrels, they'll be hit. Boobies will be hit. And terrifyingly, it hits dolphins and seals particularly badly. There are concerns about our native penguins as well. And as I think we've discussed this before, in the United States, it's still going through dairy herds, and cats that drink the unpasteurised milk have horrible neurological symptoms and die. Dogs can get it. It doesn't seem to kill them, but it is terrifying. So the state government in Victoria and other states have said even people with backyard chooks must keep them locked up. The difficulty is obviously for the huge free-range producers. Now, there are certain areas, certain councils in Victoria that are have special regulations to allow free-range chickens, so they have that industry there. That was hit very badly by the previous bird flu outbreak, and that wasn't anywhere near as virulent. And they cull them all. They gas them. So it's the only way to stop it. And with this strain of bird flu, it's kinder to the birds because they will all die. So, yeah, it's very concerning, and it's only a matter of time before it spreads.
Have you heard from the Australian government or federal government with regards to any compensation for poultry owners? Libby, here, Andrew Hogarth, Minister for Biosecurity, said if it's something we can't contain, there's no compensation, but that seems to be a choice, right?
There was compensation last time, although I know some of the free-range producers said they couldn't go through it again. I don't think it would cover the damage to their business. And interestingly, the Federal Agriculture Minister says there is a vaccine, but it has to be administered twice. They don't have the scale of it for poultry. So what they're doing with any of their endangered native birds in captivity, they're being vaccinated in the hope that we won't lose any of our endangered species. I'm sure you're aware of the shocking reputation of Australia in losing endangered species at a greater rate than any other country in the world. So it's a real concern for that. One epidemiologist I spoke to says if it gets to Tasmania, the Tasmanian devil could be in trouble because they tend to eat dead birds. But if you look at the government's list, it doesn't seem to impact a lot of native mice and rats or bats. But some of our falcons and wedge-tailed eagles would be at threat, which is just shocking to think about. Not so much, interestingly, the parrots. We have a plague of soft-crested cockatoos in Victoria. They do very well out of grain farming, and they're a real nuisance, and farmers use these guns that go off, scare guns that go off, to get them off their crops, but have been known to start fires, so that's not very good. But yeah, they don't think these parrots will be as impacted by it.
Interesting around the pressure on the Australian government to be able to contain it with, like you said, the reputation. Thank you so much for joining us, Libby. Really appreciate your time on the show as our Australian rural correspondent and following that closely there with the bird flu outbreak in Australia and what is happening here in New Zealand.
Countrywide Connect with Andy Thompson and Sarah Perriam-Lapp.